In the heart of a quaint little town, an old house stood tall. The town, with its cobblestone streets and bustling farmers' markets, was a painting of bucolic charm. Nestled in its midst, the old house was like an ancient tree, watchful and unyielding, having stood the test of time. It rose majestically, casting a long, eerie shadow over the town square. A relic from a forgotten era, the house bore the architectural beauty of the past. Its time-worn facade was made of aged, weathered bricks, each carrying its own tale of seasons endured. The gables were ornate, adorned with intricate carvings depicting stories from folklore, giving glimpses into the rich past of the dwelling. The arched wooden front door was a portal, beckoning one to delve into the house's mysterious existence. The house, with its sagging roof, creaky floorboards, and antiquated cast-iron fixtures, was a silent testament to secrets it harbored from centuries past, a silent guardian of tales untold. The rooms echoed with whispers of past residents, their joys and sorrows forever etched into the house's soul. And the attic was a treasure trove of faded photographs, forgotten love letters, and dusty, old trinkets. Each item a fragment of history, a testament to lives lived and people gone. In the hushed stillness of the night, one could almost hear the house sigh. The wind whistled through the narrow gaps in the wooden frames of the cloudy glass windows, the unsettling creaks and groans akin to a secret language, a dialogue between the house and the elements. It was as if the house breathed, lived, and had its own entity. It held an aura of mystery and an allure of adventure, a book of stories waiting to be read. The house's mature garden, although unkempt, was enchanting. Overgrown vines climbed onto the stone walls, their leaves rustling softly in the wind. An array of wildflowers bloomed in vibrant colors, their sweet aroma mingling with the scent of old parchment and wood. An age-old oak tree soared high, its gnarled branches reached like arms waiting to enfold anyone seeking solace under its shade. Yet, amidst the antiquity and mystery, the house radiated a warm, welcoming air. It was a sanctuary, a place that seemed to promise warmth, comfort, and perhaps a taste of the supernatural for those who ventured. An enigmatic blend of the familiar and the strange, the serene and the uncanny. It was this house that the unsuspecting Harrison family decided to call home. They saw what others failed to see, a charm in its antiquity, a welcoming embrace in its ghostly whispers. Unaware of the well-guarded secrets of its past, they were ready to weave their own tales in the rich tapestry of its history. They had no idea of the looming adventure, the sacred echoes of the past that were now a part of their future. Their youngest, Emily, discovered a hidden chamber in the attic. Nestled within was a chest, its exterior adorned with mystical symbols. This house, a symbol of their family's legacy, had been passed down from generation to generation, and it was filled with stories and secrets. The attic, in particular, was a forgotten haven, history mingled with dust and home to countless artifacts from the past. This day, however, it had decided to reveal something different, something extraordinary. Emily, an innocent yet adventurous soul of just 8, was always drawn to the allure of the unknown. She had the imagination of a dreamer and the courage of a warrior. Often she would tiptoe her way into this attic, rummaging through old books, inspecting trinkets, and marveling at the vintage paraphernalia. Today, her eyes fell on something unusual, something that called out to her curiosity more than anything else ever did. There, tucked away in a secluded corner of the attic, was a chest. It was unlike the other containers that were filled with forgotten memories. This chest was striking, its exterior adorned with mystical symbols, the craftsmanship telling tales of a time long lost. It was isolated, almost sacred, as if it hidden away. Emily, her heart pounding in anticipation, approached the chest. She ran her fingers across the intricate carvings, feeling the cool metal against her skin. The symbols were beautifully etched, a combination of geometric designs and ancient glyphs that danced under her touch. She felt a strange connection, a pull that was difficult to resist. Her curiosity piqued. Emily opened the door. Her surprise, a chilling gust of wind blew out. It was unexpected, surreal, and it made the hairs on her nape stand. She drew back a little, eyes wide in astonishment. The gust of wind seemed to carry whispers of ages past, a secret that was waiting to be unraveled. As the gust died down, Emily peered into the chest, her eyes adjusting to the darkness within. It was empty. save for a strange, ethereal glow that seemed to pulsate at the chest's core. The soft glow beckoned her, pulling her closer. It was both terrifying and fascinating. She could not look away, her heart pounding against her ribcage like a wild drum. Soon she realized that the chest's purpose was far from ordinary. It was a wish granter, a magical entity that promised to fulfill desires. But this revelation came with a disturbing realization. The chest demanded a price, an exchange for the wishes it was willing to grant. It required gruesome offerings, making Emily shudder at the thought. The chest was not just a magical entity, but a chilling reminder of the dreadful cost of desire. Though shocked, Emily found herself drawn into the chest's dark origins. Her curiosity sparked like a flame. She was immediately captivated by the enigmatic aura that the chest emitted. She felt an overwhelming urge to delve into the mystery that lay in front of her, and she succumbed to it willingly, brimming with a mixture of fear and excitement. She embarked on a journey of discovery, a journey that took her through the labyrinth of dusty archives that were previously undisturbed, adding to the enigma that they held. She felt a rush of adrenaline as she began to flip through the faded journals and time-worn manuscripts, their pages yellowed with age. Each page held a story, each line a secret, and each word a clue. The journals were filled with tales that transcended the dimension of time. They told stories of an age long past, an age that was forgotten by the sands of time. The tales were as old as time itself, and Emily was intrigued by the blend of reality and mythology that they weaved. Among the tales, there was one that stood out, one that was written with a sense of urgency and desperation. It was a tale of an alchemist from the 19th century. He was a man by greed, ambition, and a thirst for power that was insatiable. He was a man who was willing to pay any price for the fulfillment of his desires. The alchemist, in his quest for power, had sought to unlock the chest's power. He believed that the chest held a power a beyond anyone's comprehension. He was convinced that the chest was a portal that linked the mortal world with the world of the divine. To unlock power, the alchemist had resorted to a path that was dark and twisted. He had fed the chest limbs of unsuspecting victims, innocent souls who were lured into his web of deceit. Their flesh was the price that he paid, the price for the fulfillment desires. The victims' screams echoed in Emily's mind as she read the tale, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt a chill run down her spine, the horror of the tale seeping into her. The pain, the fear, and the helplessness of the victims were palpable, and Emily felt a wave of sadness over her. Yet, despite the horror, Emily was drawn deeper into the chest's dark origins. She was determined to uncover the truth, no matter how terrifying it may be. She was determined to bring justice for the victims who had paid the price for the alchemist's greed. Their flesh, the price for desires fulfilled. As Emily delved deeper, spectral whispers echoed throughout the house. It was as if the very walls were alive with tension, a collective breath held in eerie silence. She could feel the pulsating energy, emanating like a dim beacon, drawing her further into the abyss of the ancestral mansion. The air was dense, heavy with the scent of age-old secrets, of countless tales forever sealed within the confines of this unsettling dwelling. Each step she took was a step back in time, into a past shrouded in mystery and riddled with unanswered questions. The spectral whispers seemed to grow louder, more urgent. They swirled around her like a spectral choir, their ethereal voices weaving a haunting melody that reverberated off the high, ornate ceilings. The whispers were the ghostly echoes of the past, fearfully hinting at the ominous path that lay ahead. In the heart of the house lay the chest, an object of macabre fascination that had tantalized Emily's curiosity. Its insatiable hunger was palpable, a chilling warning echoing in the hollow chambers of the mansion. Its dark influence was a looming dread, a shadowy specter that permeated every corner, every crevice of the house. The chest was an entity unto itself, its presence a palpable, looming dread that cast a somber mood over the mansion. The ominous drumbeat of its insatiable hunger reverberated through the house, a cruel reminder of the dreadful cost each wish granted carried. The echoes of past sacrifices hung heavy in the air, each one a chilling testament to the chest's relentless appetite for power. The chest demanded more. its insatiable greed a constant gnawing hunger that overshadowed the spectral whispers. Its appetite was a force of nature, an unstoppable whirlpool, drawing everything into its vortex. It was a cycle of dread and desire, an endless loop of wishes granted and gruesome sacrifices demanded in return. Its appetite was a chilling reminder of the horrific cost of each wish granted. It was a raw, visceral manifestation of the unbearable weight of desire. The grisly sacrifices it demanded were an unspoken curse, the terrifying price for the fulfillment of the heart's deepest desires. The chest demanded more. Its appetite for grisly sacrifices never satiated. Even as Emily wrestled with the harrowing implications of her discovery, she could not quell the chilling certainty that the chest's hunger would never be satisfied. No matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice, its insatiable demand would continue to loom like a specter over the house, forever echoing its dreadful warning. The true horror of the house began to reveal itself to Emily. It was a place that had been shrouded in mystery and whispers in the town for as long as she could remember. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about the house, its dark legacy casting a long shadow over their quiet lives. It was an ancient structure, burdened with countless tales of terror, suffering, and unspeakable horrors. And now, stepping over the threshold, Emily was no longer a distant observer of these tales. She was a participant, ready to confront the terrors that had long haunted her dreams. The rooms, filled in dust, echoed the tormented past of the house, the air heavy with the scent of fear and despair that had soaked into the walls over the centuries. In the heart of this forsaken place resided a cursed relic, a chest of midnight black, adorned with intricate carvings that spoke of its malevolent nature. It was said to devour souls, sucking the life out of the innocent and using their spirit as fuel for its boundless power. The chilling stories Emily had heard of the chest were now terrifyingly real. It stood ominously before her, the very embodiment of the evil that this house. Its presence was a tangible form of dread, a dark specter that had permeated the house for generations. But Emily was not a girl to shy away from a challenge. The terror of the house had become a constant presence in her life, a spectral adversary looming in her thoughts. She was determined to break this vicious cycle, to deny the chest its feast of souls, to sever the dark chains binding the house and its inhabitants to a life of misery. Her decision to confront the chest was not an easy one. It was a decision born out of desperation, a desperate need to rid her town of the shadow that had been cast over it. She knew that the chain required sacrifice, a price to pay that might be too great. But Emily was ready. She had steeled herself against the fear, against the whispers of the house. Armed with courage and resolve, she stood before the chest. It was a daunting sight, a monument to the dark power that had ruled over this house, unchallenged for so long. But Emily was ready. She knew the cost, the price she had to pay. Her own flesh, the final offering given in exchange for sealing away its dark magic. Her heart pounded in her chest as she extended her hand towards the chest, the final act of defiance against the monstrous power of the house. The air was heavy with anticipation and fear. The end was near, and Emily was ready to face it. Her own flesh, the final offering, given in exchange for sealing away its dark magic. With the chest's acceptance of its final offering, the house trembled. Gently at first, like the breath of a sleeping giant awaking from a centuries-long slumber. Then it grew in intensity, shaking the antique furniture and age-old tapestries. The dust, undisturbed for decades, swirled around in the gloomy lamplight, creating an otherworldly spectacle. The sound of it was an ancient ballad, sung by stone and timber, filled with stories of the bygone eras. The house, a patchwork of history and secrets, was awash with waves of unseen energy, originating from the chest. Its ancient foundations groaned in relief, as if the weight of centuries had been lifted off their battered shoulders. These sounds were not just mere noise. They spoke of a relief that was almost sentient, a sigh heaved out of the oldest lungs one could imagine. The sounds of stones, as old as time itself, finally allowed to rest, to sleep after centuries of vigilance. Emily, a mirror to this supernatural event, stood frozen, her heart pounding against her ribs. Her eyes wide with fear and wonder, she watched as the chest, the last relic of an unholy past, started to fade in front of her eyes, its wooden contours blurring and merging with the ether. She took a slow, shaky breath, holding the air in her lungs for a moment before letting it go. A solemn vow crystallized in her heart, a promise to let this secret stay buried, to let the sleeping beasts lie undisturbed. She was a vessel chosen to bear this sinister secret, a guardian of her family's ominous heritage. But she was also Emily, a young woman with dreams and fears of her own, a woman who had seen the unseen, experienced the unexplainable. And this experience, this brush with the supernatural, had changed her, marked her in a way nothing else could. She was no longer just Emily. She was a keeper of secrets, of the unseen. As the chest vanished, Emily could feel the heavy silence descending upon the room, a silence that was almost tangible. The dread that had filled the room seemed to linger like an unwanted guest. She could still feel the echoes of the tormented souls, their pain and despair leaving a bitter taste in her mouth. Their voices, a chorus of anguish, continued to resonate with a haunting melody. All that remained was a lingering sense of dread and the echoes of tormented souls, a chilling reminder of the secrets the house held, the sins it had witnessed, and the price it had paid. Emily, with this haunting legacy etched deep into her soul, knew she would never be the same again. The Harrison family bid farewell to the old house, leaving its haunted past behind. Their departure, a somber and melancholy procession, marked the end of an era. The house, once filled with the warm laughter and infectious joy of the family, now sat in silence. Its walls, rich with the echoes of playful banter and loving exchanges, bore witness to the peaceful tranquility of emptiness. The rooms that once resonated with the lively chatter of the children now lay barren, swallowed by the deafening silence that has replaced the laughter. The house, a monument to the family's shared memories, stood tall against that backdrop of a crimson sunset. Its once vibrant and inviting exterior had faded, bearing the weathered look of time and neglect. Yet it retained its regal demeanor, a silent testimonial of the many years it had hosted the Harrison family. The family themselves carried the burden of the house's aura, their hearts heavy with the weight of their memories, the good and the bad. As they walked down the path leading away from the house, their eyes were drawn to the familiar sights around them. The old swing set, a testament to their happy childhood, creaked eerily in the evening breeze. The grand oak tree, under whose shade they had spent countless summer afternoons, stood tall and majestic, its leaves rustling softly, as if whispering farewell. The flowers in the garden, once tended with loving care, now bloomed in wild abandon, their colors a vibrant contrast against the dull facade of the house. Inside the house, the spectral presence of the past was palpable. A cold gust of wind swept through the empty halls, sending shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to venture into the house. The once lively fireplace now lay cold and empty, its warmth replaced by an unsettling chill. The portraits that adorned the walls seemed to gaze upon the deserted rooms with an eerie sense of longing, their eyes following the path of the family. A sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air, casting a spectral shadow over the now deserted residence. The old house, once bustling with life, now whispered stories of the years gone by. In the silence of the night, whispers of the Chest of Desires, a mysterious artifact of the Harrison family's history, continued to drift through the town. It was a chilling reminder of a past better left forgotten, a past that held secrets best left buried. The tale of the Harrison family and their haunted house had become a legend over the years. It was a cautionary tale, a chilling narrative that warned of the dangers lurking in the shadows of forgotten secrets. The house continued to stand, a silent sentinel guarding its secrets, as the Harrisons left it behind, taking with them a wealth of memories and leaving behind a chilling legacy. If you've enjoyed this tale of mystery and horror, let's dive a little bit deeper into what you have experienced today. This story, steeped in the shadows of the unknown, has been a thrilling ride, hasn't it? The twists and turns, the sudden shocks, and the eerie atmosphere all came together to create a masterpiece of suspense and terror. And let's not forget the characters, multidimensional, complex, and fraught with their own fears and conflicts. They were the ones who brought the horror to life, each one playing their part in the narrative that gripped us from the beginning to the end. Not every story has the power to consume the reader, to pull them into its world completely, but this one did. And that's why it stands out in the vast sea of horror literature. It's not just the story that matters, it's how it's told. The atmosphere created, the tension built, the emotions evoked all play a crucial role in enhancing the experience. Each word, each sentence, each paragraph is carefully crafted to invoke feelings of fear, suspense, and anticipation. And it's this meticulous attention to detail that sets our channel apart from others. That's why you chose us, didn't you? Because you wanted to experience a story that was more than just words on a page. You wanted to feel the chill on your spine, the goosebumps on your skin, the tight knot of fear in your stomach. You wanted to be engrossed, to be lost in a world far removed from reality. And we're glad you did, because that's what we aim to do here. We strive to bring you stories that transport you to different worlds, stories that excite, scare, and mesmerize you. Stories that are so captivating, so engrossing, that you forget about everything else and get lost in the narrative. Your support means the world to us. Every subscription, every like, every comment fuels our passion and motivates us to do better. It's an affirmation that we're on the right path, that we're delivering stories that resonate with you. And for that, we're eternally grateful. But it doesn't end here. We have many more stories to share, many more journeys to embark on, stories that are as diverse as they are intriguing. From haunted houses to cursed objects, from malevolent spirits to sinister beings, we have it all. And they're waiting for you, waiting to transport you to a world of darkness and fear, a world where nothing is as it seems, a world that will keep you on your toes, that will make your heart race and your palms sweat, a world that's as fascinating as it is terrifying. Not every story will appeal to everyone, but we're certain that you'll find something to your liking here, something that will make your blood run cold, something that will leave you breathless, something that will keep you coming back for more. Stay tuned for more spine-chilling stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.